Welcome to another episode of our BaseCamp Barn project. This week we finished building our foundation wall just in time for our first ICF pour. But will we get the waterproofing membrane applied before the first snow of the season? Let's get back to work. Spent most of the morning here. We measured corner to corner and it's like perfectly square, which is excellent. All the other dimensions are really good. We're maybe a little short this way, a 1/4 inch, which is fine. We're good that way, exactly right. So the diagonals and the dimensions of the lengths here are good. So I just spent about an hour or so here putting shims in. This whole north side was low by about 1/2 inch. So I've got shims in. You know, there's a gap here that will fill with the foam spray once we lock it in. I think I want to do another course just to verify, and then we'll be able to measure like here in the middle across and there in the middle across, and get a couple other measurements just to make sure these walls are in the right spot. I think we're going to go 4 courses tall for this first pour. This third course here, we're going to start getting into doors, openings, the relief that we have to have enough support, concrete support, to roll cars and stuff across all the door openings. I think the floor level is going to be a little bit lower than this third course. That has yet to be determined. So here's where all the strings are. You know, they're kind of right here, I don't know, roughly 3 inches below. So that's what we were determining. That's what we determined to estimate where the floor was. These strings are so long they sag in a little in the middle, so it's tough to use them too much. They might be saggy, a little bit, but I just shot level across the top of all of the 2 layers, and we're within 1/8 inch of level across the top, so that's a good starting point. And now I'm gonna start stacking some blocks and get this third course going. I got to mark where the doors are before I get too far, so I can make sure I got the right blocks in the right spot for some cuts. But anyway, that's basically what I've done here this morning, is spent a bit of time verifying what we got and where we're at, and I'm very happy with where we're at, so it's time to carry on. I got the entire 4th row done, so we're basically ready to start really getting it square and glued down and set up to be poured. That's tomorrow's project. Get some of this lumber over here and start bracing the whole perimeter. There's a little bit of a wah-wah to it. And I'm finding that the blocks that are marked Nudura have more bend to them than other blocks. And I'm not really sure why. They got to build the wall here in the middle and get it up so that when they pour on Wednesday, we'll pour all this stuff on Wednesday. They want to let the concrete settle for a couple, 3 or 4 days before they start packing around it. That might be what we'll do while we're waiting on them, is put up the water barrier stuff. Put water barrier on the outside here and get it all sealed up and happy, and then they can backfill it. and it won't be quite so cumbersome to get in and around here. Here's the boneyard. I've been pretty efficient. Most all this stuff here has been the cutouts that I cut 5 inches off the bottom, so I'm saving it because I'm thinking when we get to the tops of all the windows and doors we might need some of this. I haven't done the math figuring out where we're going to be. So I don't know if that's efficient or not, but as far as full-size blocks go, I've only got a couple little pieces left. So that's kind of good, I think. But other than that, I'm real happy with the progress. Real happy with the progress. So here's my new saw topper. It's pretty cool. I got it all leveled out and actually got it dusty and used it today. So I'm about ready to put it away. Got the side TV off of the RV, and I put that inside of the shop space here so that I could watch a little football while I'm doing some work. It's all good. Alrighty, it's pour day. First 4 courses. I haven't videoed anything for the last 3 days because I've been slammed busy. I just finished everything right after the truck showed up. So we got trucks here, we got the crew here, we got the next load here. So we're rocking and rolling. Woohoo! First pour on a Wednesday. Last time we checked in, I had the blocks all done. And it's taken me basically 2.5 days to get the rest of this stuff all knocked out. So we got a board here in the bottom that we've lined up to a snap chalk line. So that gets us level or lined up on the bottom. Then we've had a string line set up so I could get, about floor height squared up, and we were, like I said, we were perfectly square, perfectly plumb. And then I got all these supports made, got them installed. The backboards here for these door openings, just to hold the concrete back. And then they came in Monday and built the inner wall, and we got holes in it. That's what we did late last night, and it's dark. Had to put holes in for the sewer and the water. No, water was already in. Power. We had to put a hole in the wall for the power. And got all this stuff knocked out. Just cutting and screwing. Almost 2 5-pound boxes worth of screws. All these supports were from our neighbor Doug. Buried. I had to unbury them over there in the gully, but they all worked. Everything was as true as I think I could make it until you throw the concrete in. And we'll just have to see what happens here after we throw the concrete in. This line here looks pretty straight, so I'm saying I got it pretty well supported. And really, this is the most important part. As far as keeping it square and getting it right is, where all these doors and stuff go, all the windows. So, anyway, let's see if they can reach that. That's a pretty long reach. Let the boss leave. It's all good.
It's floor day. Yeah, the foundation was already done, and now we're doing, or the footers were already done, and now we are doing
basically the foundation.
The foundation and just a little bit above where we can see the outline of where the garage doors are going to be, and our sliding glass door and the man door, so you can kind of get a feel for it now, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. So I'm down here in the trench. They just poured this wall, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. It's really solid. And it's a very wet pour. See all the water coming down or out? This is why you need to have drains on the bottom to let the water out. You can't fully seal up the whole bottom. On the other side, I kind of did because I knew this side was open. But if you look, I don't know if you can see the camera. See if we can see it any better. See these water drops? Kind of funny. But yeah, we got concrete walls. Actually, this is all below foundation, where floor is 3 inches below this third course. Oh, what a mess. Everything gets messy. Yeah, even in the bigger gaps, concrete doesn't come through. You know, it's pretty porous. But look at this bulge right here. Glad I put that there. Look at that bulge. It's bulging. I wouldn't call it a blowout, but I put these verticals in on purpose because there was a few spots that just felt soft to me. This wall here looks really good. It's the front wall that I'm a little worried about. Still very wet. I'm surprised the rebar sticks stay in it. It's the day after the pour. And they're tearing down the wall on the inside. And it looks wonderful. I'll get to my stuff here in a little bit. Start tearing all these walls off, or start taking all the wood off. But concrete is cured to the point where it'll stand by itself. 4 days to put the blocks up, and 2.5 days basically to support the blocks. So knowledge there now is when we do the rest of the next layer of blocks, you know, I can allocate time accordingly. There's going to be more courses and windows and stuff kind of in the way, so it'll be just as much cutting. And we'll have to have supports going all the way up, you know, to the top. We're probably going to do 10 foot to the next pour. So that's a 10-foot tall wall that I'll have to support. So that'll have very similar wood blocking up at top and maybe more verticals, maybe another row in the middle of wood blocking to support the wall. But as you can see, we've got all the rebar in, and they're in where I want them to be now versus kind of randomly before. When we put them into the footers, it was very random. I mean, it was on 16-inch center, but you know, you could be an inch or two off. Where here I've marked where I want the rebars to be, and so that'd be a lot easier to build around. So I'm taking off all these supports, and it's about as much work as putting them up. Saving all the screws. I use just about 10 pounds of screws to do all these supports. But I think they came in handy. The guy said this thing didn't move very much at all, so that's really encouraging. once we get all the support stuff off, we'll restring it just to see where we are. You get a good reference from our original strings and original lines, and use that knowledge accordingly as we build it higher. So that's kind of the goal here, is to try to use these strings one last time to see where the heck we are after it's all settled. But got to get all this wood off, and I'm trying to save it all because the plan is to reuse it for the next step and then reuse it on the inside, because these are all 16-foot sticks, so that's how high two of the walls inside are going to be. So one of them's going to be built out of 2x6s and another one's going to be built out of 2x4s. That's why we have two different sizes. But that's part of the plan here. Try to reuse the products. Be efficient. Try not to waste too much. Alright, I'm trying to get my system down here. Because I got to do this in the sun where it's warm enough for this stuff to stick. So I got a couple marks up here I'm going to. And the rolls have marks on them for how much overlap you need to have. So as long as we line up the overlap pretty good, and we get it to the right height, roughly, we'll be pretty good. See, that looks pretty good. And so being in the sun here seems to help. It might be too cold for it. That's why I want to hustle and get this done. This is the first one that I haven't been able to pull the backing off of, so that must mean it's getting sticky. Don't want it sticking to itself. Don't want it sticking to me. Smells like it's tar. So let's get this corner kind of set. We'll get this middle kind of set. Get the top kind of set. That way we can do a good peel all the way down. Really set that corner down there so it doesn't stretch and do something funny. And after that, I don't really care. Because this is all going to be way below grade. We got a funky knot right there. No big deal. This membrane is a Nudura product specifically made to stick to the foam Nudura blocks without compromising the foam itself. I used the zip roller to press the membrane into the foam, and it stuck very well. Here we are at the end of another day. I got 3 walls waterproofed, and we're working on the very last one here. I'll have to finish up tomorrow. And you can see the corners aren't done. Those are going to take a little bit more work. And I'm leaving a little gap around the doors and windows until we get the rest of the stuff in. So there's just a few spots that need us a little bit of help. But it was a busy day. I think I got 2 blisters and worn out hands pushing on the roller stick thing, the zip roller stick thing. Progress. I should be able to get this finished up tomorrow. Tomorrow will be another day like today until maybe late in the afternoon when that storm finally starts coming in. The wind just picked up an hour or so ago, so for sure there's a front coming through. But we're making progress. The whole goal here is to get waterproofed before the snow. I don't think we're going to get any. And then I'm hoping Monday the A&L gang will be back here and we'll fill in all these trenches that I've been filling my shoes full of rocks and even my pockets full of rocks and dust and dirt and gravel. Oh, working in the trenches. But there you go. DIY, we're doing it, getting it done. Yes, we got the waterproofing membrane applied just in time for the season's first snow. It seems winter is upon us. Next week, we'll fill the center of the foundation with about 450 tons of road base. And we'll get the underground plumbing glued together and inspected. We'll attempt to pour the floor before the next snowstorm. Thanks for watching, but now it's time to get back to work.